in the bottom left corner, for ends, it is Serral. And in the top right corner, from Korea, some call him the best, it is Zest. Right. As I mentioned before, this is from the stay-at-home StarCraft group stages, so this isn't the case where Zest plays on the European server to play in some tournament. This is on the Ferris server. I believe it's either on NA West or Central. They're going to be alternating between those two along the series. So, yeah, fairest ping for both players. So, yeah, Zest is going to be quite a bit stronger than he is with the massive ping that he has on the European server. Pretty standard PvZ so far. The hedge first on the natural has been blocked. Serral has been forced to take it at the third base location. All standard. Lots of Protosses do this. Very few do not. It's just a matter of preference. And yeah, like in typical PvZ early game fashion, we're gonna have to wait just a little bit to see what tech path the Protoss wants to go for here. So, getting the Cybernetics core after the Nexus, and then yeah, most often we see the Stargate in PvZ, and that's something that Zest does like as well. But Zest is not one of those people that has to play a certain style in any matchup. Really, he can throw curveballs, he can go weird ways. So let's see what he chooses to go for as soon as the Cybernetics core he finishes. Meanwhile, on the other side of the map, Serral just absolutely standards 4 links. Probably going to attempt to take his third base right around like 31, 32 supply. And it is going to be a Stargate. Okay. So now, even with the Stargate, there are different variations to this. Most Protosses these days will open up with the Void Ray to chase away this pesky Overlord over here. But if the Protoss is confident that he won't be scouted, and that the Zerg player is in the dark for just a little bit longer, some Protosses do go for the Oracle first to try and get some damage in there with Queens out of position and Spores not being built in time. I'm not expecting any of that to happen from Serral, because Serral is known to have, well, an incredible game across all stages of the game, but especially in the early game, he's super solid, always has his queens in position, always has his timings figured out. So it is going to be the Void Ray first here, out of Zest, and is going to chase away and kill off this Overlord over here. And there's a Zergling over here just checking for the third base timing, but this Overlord is going to die. Serral is prepared for this, already has another Overlord on the way. So it's going to get supply blocked for just a second here, but won't stop his production from going on. Adding on a couple of Zerglings here now, just to get some map presence, to maybe deny a third base. It's not a huge amount of Zerglings, he's going up to 10 in total, so it's really just for map control, just to take care of a single Adept if that were to head across the map. Yeah, Spore Crawlers, decently timed to take care of the Void Ray and the Oracle, more importantly. Oracle gets 2 kills and just survives on 1 HP. Okay, Zest cutting it close there. 1 HP. Behind this we see the air upgrade out of Zest here, so expecting to put down a second Stargate at some point. He does go for the Twilight Council and the Forge before a second Stargate, but he does continuously produce those Void Rays, so attempted Stasis Ward here. Serral realizes it, sacrifices a single drone for it. This Oracle is really living on the edge. It's taking a lot of damage and it probably won't find any more drone kills. So, yeah, Serral even trying to chase this away. Gives up on it. He doesn't quite see it. So, interestingly, there's no second Stargate. So this +1 air weapons is maybe just to fake out Serral a little bit. Obviously, Serral, he continuously scouts with these Zerglings here, and if you see this cybernetic skull wobble, you know that it's researching. So maybe just trying to throw off Serral here and give him a false sense of security, while behind this, you're going into +1 and charge and a whole bunch of gateways. So um, I'm not sure if Zest wants to let this finish. And it tends to go into air a bit later on, but this to me looks like just a fake out and a pretty committed +1 attack with mostly zealots, a couple of Archons mixed in there. Doesn't seem like he's lacking the minerals and the gas in anywhere else in his build order, so he might be, yeah, maybe he's just going to finish it. Which is interesting. It's quite the commitment to let that finish for something that you have no intention to go into anytime soon. Serral has not seen anything else, so maybe this has worked out for him. And Serral is going up to 79 drones, above 80 drones probably, going for the infestations with the Pit and the Spire, so really setting up for that later game. And Zest is going to hit him here quite hard with this timing. +1 is going to finish up. There are 2 Archons in this War Prism, and this is going to hit hard and heavy. Zealot Warpins coming in here. Serral panic producing 16 roaches. Roach speed is about to finish, +1 is quite a way away, so won't have that available for the fight. And this is a scary, scary push here out of Zest, trying to go for that third base. He has to be careful to not split up his army too much, and he cannot lose this War Prism. He needs further reinforcements out of that War Prism. But right now, Void Race, Prismatic Alignment, more Zealous Warping, and this is looking stellar for the Korean here. Transfuses going down, but the Queens are out of energy, and Serral taps out, and he falls for it in game number 1. Maybe we can talk about this this map just a little bit. This map, one of the new ones, just recently rotated into the map pool out of the Team Liquid map contest. Third bases, usually you take them in this triangle position, because this one is a little further away, and a lot of surface area here from that side. Yeah, outside of that, 2 mineral patches here that you can mine to get a little bit of a quicker pathway across the map, and just opening up another pass, but also with these destructible rocks over here. And outside of that, yeah, pretty standard map. There's a lot of high ground positions that come into play when we're talking about different matchups. For example, in ZVT, these high ground positions are always very nice and abusable for tank play, but that's less of a factor in this specific matchup. So yeah, I've talked enough now to transition into the time where we know what Zest is going to be choosing as his tech this time around, and it's going to be the Stargate again. Okay, dokie. Serral does not. Okay, Serral just knows about this. Probably will force Zest into going into that Void Ray first again, which means this Overlord is going to die eventually. Sad rip. Yep. And this is going to be its killer. Serral setting up with the third base, macroing up, droning up, using his early links to open up a few more pathways. This one is especially nice because when you're taking this third base, this is a very common attack path for the Protoss, and if you have that avenue open for Serral, it's just really nice. So even just 3 Zerglings will take care of this one eventually. It looks like this Void Ray hasn't quite found this Overlord yet, so maybe I doomed it too early, but definitely looking for it, definitely chasing it. So, but because Serral got this scout so early on, this Overlord is way out here. So, still single Zergling, nibbling on the debris. And it looks like this Overlord gets away with murder. Or, I guess with the scouting. Oracle heading in here. The Sport Crawler just a little bit late. Zest gets 3 drones here with that. Last game he got 2 and a whole lot of damage on the Oracle. This time around the Oracle is healthier. +1 air upgrade, once again researching, and this time around we have a second Stargate. So this time, no fake out. This Overlord will eventually confirm this. It's going to take it a while, but it will see that this time around there are indeed 2 Stargates on the map. Serral so far, just absolutely standard. Just macroing up, getting his lair, getting his Roach Warren. These debris are going to be opened up. More drones going down to this Oracle. So this Oracle vastly more successful than it was in the last game. And now this Overlord, like, aha. I see Void Ray production, and in just a second I'm going to see the second Stargate as well. So this is actually a big scout. This is a scout that is usually very hard to get, because you're usually losing this Overlord very early on in the game. So this scout is all that Serral wanted, and he didn't even have to fight for it very hard. He had the spare Overlord, and just sacrificed it a little later, which then again prompts him into heading into the later stages of the game a bit quicker. Infestation Pit is going down, Overload speed to yeah, just be mobile with the Overlords, get some more scouting along the way. See the fleet beacon here, and a Robo and a Robo Bay as well, so Zest is going to choose the Disruptors on the ground as a way to have some presence there as well. We're just heading here, but plenty of Queens in position, chasing those away. Creep Spirit is good, and it's also in pretty much every direction. So decent job out of Serral there, and even though these Void Rays deny it just a little bit, it's not going to be stopped anytime soon. These Lings here getting on top of the 4th base, but are not enough to actually get a cancel. It's nice to still know the timing of this also. Zest here building his first 3 carriers at a time. Behind this, Serral is he's just macroing up. He's just going into Hive, going into the Spire. 2 Infestors building. The Infestors early on against this Protoss style are very important for the Microbial Shrouds. For a long time with this style, you only anti-air as Zerg are going to be those Queens. So you want to protect them as best as you can, and Microbial Shroud is a great way of achieving that, especially against carriers, because Interceptors don't deal a lot of damage. They're very many and they attack very quick, but their single attacks are not very powerful, so Queens are going to have a good time fighting carriers when they are under the effect of the Microbial Shroud. Zest here uncharacteristically losing 2 Void Rays in the middle of the map just to Queens running underneath. These two infestors that Serral has over here are going to make his army so much stronger. So if Zest had gone for the Templar Archive rather than the Disruptors for some presence on the ground, it would have been a lot more volatile, because if those two get feedback and they carry us just free fire on everything without a Microbial Shroud, the fight turns out way different. But looks like Zest is very content. Just sitting back, macroing up, getting more carriers. He has +2 ships on the way. Very good upgrade for the interceptors, since they are attacking so quick. So attack upgrades work wonders on them. Yeah, Zest is warping in some ground units though, so I don't want to say this is it looks looking like he's going to move out anytime soon, but he's not fully committed to that Golden Armada air fleet. He has charge and +2 ground on the way, so yeah, wants to make something happen here with this upgrades lining up with charge. This army is big and it's scary, but Serral over here has a lot of static defense, has Brute Lords out already. Has to be very careful to not get his core units abducted here by these Vipers. 4 Vipers on the field. More Corruptors getting added on. This is just splitting off a bunch of these Zealots here, trying to go for the run-by. But there is a significant ground force here. So, yeah, just going to pull back. This is why the creep is so important. You see the run-bys, the army movement very early on, so, yeah. His main army is going to head down here to the south side of the map. But even here, static defense is already established. So just really not giving him any openings. The creep spread has been pushed back a little bit, but that's about everything that this army has achieved so far. Mothership is on the way. Some people like to meme it, calling it -400. It's actually quite useful, even though we haven't seen it have the biggest impact in quite a while. But the value it offers, cloaking stuff, offering the recall capabilities, it's not bad. You just need to protect it against the abducts. It's just taken lots and lots of macro control here. Just posturing around, pushing the creep back everywhere. There's barely any active creep tumors now available. I mean, outside of these, but the creep used to be over here. So trying to respread it, but having a hard time, because anywhere where there isn't static defense, it's going to be hard for him to fight. Ling run by onto this, what this is, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5th base attempt. It's going to kill a bunch of probes, but not deny the Nexus from going up. Serral behind this man, he's just getting all the upgrades. He's super happy playing this game. This is where he is, I want to say, the best player in the world at. Super comfortable playing this. Knows exactly what he has to do, what kind of trades he needs to make this work. He's getting his creep spread back on the way, which is nice. It's offered him a lot of safety earlier in the game, detecting all the army movement and the run-bys, and yeah, he's just trying to establish that again. Small Void Ray run-by force over here. Trying to, yeah, really just get rid of creep. That's all these are doing. And they're doing a good job at it too. These are the speedy Void Rays as well, so they will be able to get out of here no problem. Meanwhile, over here, Zest clearing creep with his main army on the other edge. But now, slowly but steadily, Serral edging forward, bringing his static defense to the front lines. He's had enough of his creep being denied. Hasn't moved any spore crawlers to the front over here, so this is a little bit unprotected yet. These 4 Void Rays, if they had found this hatchery, they could have absolutely killed it. Maybe they're out there. No, they're just patrolling over here. And this is a really curious game. We're 14 minutes on the way and have barely lost 4,000 minerals on each side. This base is going to be denied. No defenses in place for that. So Zest won't be able to commit any further. That's a revelation though, and oh, recall down here, but there's plenty of army units in position. Also static defense, abduct on the carrier. It doesn't go down, it still lives. So maybe this is the opening that Zest needed here. Parasitic bombs going down, but only now the entire army of Serral is arriving. And this base, it's toast. A lot of the drones are going to go down as well with this. And yeah, really nice move here out of Zest. Distracting in the north, recalling with his mothership, and yeah, this is a great move. Lots of drones, lots of map control, a very important mining base. Really hasn't lost anything in that exchange either, so very nicely done. Serral isn't done yet. Serral hasn't reached his final form. He's still upgrading. He's still getting his ultras now for the ground support to take care of all of these Templars here. The Templars are what's making it hard for Serral to fight here, because he's always has to be cautious about these feedbacks and storms now. Serral had to go through a lot of his bank here to make that rebuild happen. Oh, and another recall into the main base. Going to take out a lot of the tech here. Probably the Ultralisk Cavern, the Hive. And Zest here. Great moves. Carrier gets abducted. And another recall. This is very well done. Leaves a couple of units over here to die, which I mean, kind of expensive units in a Templar and an Archon, but at least distracting for just a little bit longer. But yeah, back-to-back blows here for Zest. He has a massive bank, absolutely massive. 9,000, 10,000 minerals, 4,000 gas. Serral, well, he is bleeding, but he hasn't lost any of his army. So, despite Zest taking care of these 2 bases and the tech in the main, Serral never took an army fight. So, this standing army for the Zerg, very strong. And as long as there are plenty of static defenses set up at the front lines, he's not out of this game yet. Zest has by now remaxed, getting another mothership. The previous mothership that we've seen certainly wasn't minus 400. That was very well worth it. The recalls coming in absolutely clutch, putting him in a very decent spot in this game right now. But this fight could get dicey now. I don't think Zest wants to fight into that static defense. Not paying attention there for just a second, loses 1 carrier to the yoinks. This base, it's not going up. The Brutalots are in position, it's just going to have to be cancelled. Or killed, in this case. But yeah, Zest doesn't care about 400 minerals. Zest is rich. Adding on the docks right now for that late game harassment. And slowly but steadily, I think Serral has almost gotten all the upgrades. that he could hope for. That's a carrier in the middle of the map. Oh, the wall prism with 4 Templars in it. That was expensive. I think I just skipped in replay, guys. Yeah, just wanted to see that one again. Sorry about that, guys. Yeah, there were indeed 4 Hind Templars in that War Prism. Very expensive loss. Serral only just now re-establishing that base in the bottom here. He's establishing these bases, but he's not really mining from them yet because he doesn't have the static defense to protect. Has to pull even further back to even just protect this base that is mined out for the most part. Yeah, even the gases. Nope, they are empty now. So losing 2 fresh bases here in the bottom is going to hurt. As a 4 Corruptor squad here in the top. Not sure what these are on about. They're just patrolling over here, just chilling. Meanwhile, the main army from Zest posturing. Oh, he's recalling it again. Where are we going? Up to the top. Oh, and Serral immediately recognizes his army is majorly out of position. Gives up this base. This is all around great moves out of Zest here. Really making great use out of the recall ability. This is the first time in what seems like forever that Serral has found some damage. That's 19 probes over here. But what are 19 probes to a man that is sitting on 13,000 minerals? Gas bank, not as big, but the minerals, he has plenty. So, Serral's splitting his army now. He thinks he's well enough protected over here to deal with what Zest has with all the silly defense that he's splitting up the mobile part of his army to try and make something happen. But plenty of Archons, bunch of Void Rays over here makes him reconsider. But now Serral looking for the offensive. The creep is very far out now, and he has oh, Brute Lords! Brute Lords out of position. What are you doing, Serral? Losing 3, losing 4. Without any gain, really. Very expensive here. Serral, meanwhile, he's gotten a bank himself, but obviously you don't want to lose that just like that. And oh, Zest is going for the big fight. Storms all over the place. The Warp Prism still has the Templars in it. Brute Lords are getting caught, morphing. Lots of storms going down on them, but more Brute Lords are behind this. So all of these Archons are having a tough time to deal with this. And the Air Army for Zest is just it's melting to these Corruptors. It looks like there just weren't enough storms on the Corruptors. Is Zest breaking through here? Only 2 carriers remaining. The remax for Serral is going to be 18 more Corruptors, 5 Brute Lords morphing. Meanwhile, this base is being denied by the Ultras. What a crazy fight there. I want to say on paper, Zest had the bigger bank and should have the stronger remax, but looks like Serral is more or less getting everything that he wants here. And Zest is just smelling blood in the water. He just wants to go for the kill here, blinking offensively with these Stalkers. And there are now plenty of Brute Lords finishing up. And I don't think this is an army that wants to fight Brute Lords. The Air Army for Zest has been taken care of almost entirely. And I'm not sure that this was the remax that Zest is looking for here. Yeah, he's just absolutely in kill mode here. He wants to finish the game right here, right now. He doesn't want to remax on a good army, on carriers, on that air stuff. His army now consists of 24 Stalkers, which is very unusual at the 23-minute mark in PvZ. And now the question is Serral going to be able to hold here? Zest is making a lot of ground, taking out bases. He has taken out the majority of the static defense on the map, but Serral was able to rebuild a strong army. Plenty of Brute Lords. He doesn't have to care about Corruptors anymore, because, yeah, Corruptors shoot air, and there is just nothing in the air for Zest. But Zest taking out more bases. The economy for Serral is absolutely crippled. $15 more Zealots warping in. Where were they warped in? Okay, just over here. I mean, I'm saying the economy is crippled for Serral, but Zest is not mining that much either. It's long distance mining now. He has the minerals to put down plenty of Nexus, but yeah. All these bases are denied in one way or another. And this army that Zest has rebuilt on, it's just not great. He's warping more and more Zealots, and I mean, I said Stalkers weren't great against Brute Lords, but Zealots are even worse. This Brute Lord army is very scary. 14 Brute Lords remaining. And Serral, he is recognizing now that that Zest is not rebuilding on the ground, in the air at all. So he's just focusing completely on wiping out that ground army as efficiently as possible. And yeah, I mean, we were taught that the supply doesn't lie, but right now, man, all of these zealots, they're just donating their lives against these ultras. This is I mean, I get that Zest is rich, but this is very, very wasteful. And now he's more stalkers to try and deal with that Brute Lord army, and that Brute Lord army is on the march now. But he recognizes he doesn't even need the Brute Lord army to deny mining here. But as I say that, I see the Protoss army over here. Oh, stalkers getting caught in the middle of the map by that fungal. And I believe Serral's army, it's just too good. I believe that Zest did not choose the right remax. We see it in the supplies here. Zest is comfortably ahead there, but his army, it's significantly worse than what Serral has to offer here. Zest can never fight into these Brute Lords. 15 more Zealots warping in. Now Zest is out of money, and these Zealots, yeah, they're fighting Brutelings, trying to get underneath of these Brute Lords. These Brute Lords are kiting away. There are Infestors going for the Neurals, and these Brute Lords are just not dying. Zest still ahead in supply, but both players completely out of money here now. And these Brute Lords are standing strong, and Zest, he recognizes he cannot fight the army. Just so the base trade. This is awkward. This is awkward for the Zerg army, because these Brute Lords are so slow. Plenty of Infestors here. Obviously, Infestors can be great value. But maybe Zest can win this just by elimination here. This army is just going absolutely for the throat. Not that many Zerg buildings are left over, but obviously, in order to eliminate your opponent, you need to kill every last one of them. And I don't think that's happening. Zest can never, ever fight this army. That will not be possible. And now all these Infestors, ooh, they were looking for the fungal there. If that fungal hits, it's going to be expensive. Nice recall on these remaining units here. Serral, he's revealed. He doesn't have any more hatcheries on the map. What a crazy game we're seeing here. Zest is now, he's scrambled up enough minerals to try and re-expand and get some mining going again. And Serral, he's just not very mobile, huh? Is he? Serral does not have enough money to build anything, so all of these drones now with the army. And Serral is looking for that army of Zest. If he can clear this army, then he still has a shot in this game. Very, very few buildings here remaining. If Zest had any gas, he could just send a DT or two across the map and get the kill here. But no, this might be the final fight of the game. Stalkers blinking underneath, but huge fungal. Brute Lords are kiting away, shelling away on all of these Stalkers, and I'm not sure why Zest is looking for this. He can never win this fight. There are not more Brute Lords than there are Stalkers remaining, and Zest is losing the remainder of his army. Serral is actually doing it! Denying mining over here, that fresh base. And Zest, he has nothing left. Zest, he sees his opponent is revealed. He sees that these are the only remaining buildings on the map. And he has decided to go for that army fight. Desperate attempt here with his last few units heading across the map, trying to take care of these buildings. And are these units actually going to be able to just deal with this? Oh my god. If Zest wins like this, what are we witnessing? Are these the last buildings? I think Zest is just going to do it. 2 more spires, 1 last spire remaining. Wait. Where are the buildings? Where are Serral's buildings? Oh, yes, the Spore Crawlers with the army! The Spore Crawlers are with the army! Zest is never going to be able to kill these! It's absolutely impossible! I think Serral is just going to win this game because he has Spore Crawlers with this army that Zest is never ever going to be able to kill with the 5 Zealots, an Archon, and the Stalker that he has remaining on the map. This is crazy. Yeah, this is just it. I feel like Zest just needs to YOLO in here, trying to kill off all of these Spore Crawlers. But with the Brute Lords and the Infestors, I just don't see that happening. 4 Zealots over here, 5 Zealots, a Stalker, and an Archon over here. And he's trying to go for it. Fungals are landing on the army. These Zealots are not getting close. And Zest just GG's out. What are we witnessing? What a game. Serral equals up the series and we're heading to a map number 3. Okay, I'm glad this is a PvZ now, because that means at least for the first 2 to 3 minutes in the early game, we're going to have a little bit of a breather. That last game was nerve-wracking for sure. And Curious Minds, it's just not as big. Doesn't have as many bases to be taken, so less likely to go into the absolute super late game like we saw on that last map. I'm not sure if I have another one of those super long bangers in me, but we'll have to see. Once again, standard PvZ stuff. Hatch, block, Nexus going down, followed up by the Cybercore. Overlord is going to get into position to scout. And this, yeah, this is also going to be what is most relevant for us viewers here, is where does Zest want to take this game? Does he want to open with a Stargate for the 3rd time in a row? Once it had worked for him, the 2nd time it also kind of worked for him. He had great army movement in that game, but then just very impatient decided to go for the wrong army composition as the Remax, and managed to lose that game. It is going to be the Stargate. But on this map, How many bases are there? Like, realistically, for the Protoss to take. Third base, fourth base, fifth base, and then way out of there, 6 bases. So, maybe not as much potential to go that late. I don't want to jinx it though. I don't want to say stuff that isn't right. Both of these players have shown that they're very content going late. Just one of them has shown a little more patience to actually play it out properly in the late game. This adept here, finding a Zerkling kill. Not bad, good scouting. This time around, rather early Twilight Council. So, no +1 air weapons, no second Stargate. That makes me think that there's also no Forge. So maybe Zest is going to commit to something a little more aggressive here. We see more gateways, going up to a total of 4 gateways. And does Zest just wanna try and close this out with the Glaive Adept build here? Twilight Council finishing up, and it is going to be the Glaives. Third base is here, but obviously with Glaives researching, you want to make some damage happen rather soon. What has Serral seen? Serral hasn't seen anything. Obviously, the Void Ray and the third base timing were revealed, and Zest is once again trying to fake Serral out here. He is researching that +1 air weapons, and I'm not sure if Serral is going to fall for this a second time around. Especially now that Serral hasn't gotten the scouting that he wants. I think he just plays it safe. Getting everything at a standard timing. It's just about whether he gets the roaches out in time to deal with these adepts. Glaives is almost finished here. One more chrono boost going into it. There are the adepts warping in. 12 adepts in total. Roaches are building. Plenty of queens are on the map, so these queens will aid in the defense. But the roaches are only now popping, and they're going to be popping out at different points. Oh, great wall up here with these Evo chambers, delaying this attack by just a bit. Giving some time for the roaches to come into this. Shade into the main here. Serral forced to pull away all of his drones here, but he hasn't lost that many drones yet. Only 3, but this hasn't been completely cleaned up yet. So that's just recalling, and yeah, still wants to go into that Stargate army behind this. He hasn't done crippling damage to Serral, so with this wall off here, Serral made it so that the worst case scenario was avoided for him. Sitting on 55 drones, which is not where you want to be at. But yeah, he's now more or less free to drone up with the army that he has. He's not going to struggle against any sort of adepts anymore. Now he just needs to figure out the follow-up here, and so far, he has no idea. We see carriers in production. Serral, though, is going for that overload speed, so as soon as that is finished, he will be able to get another scout off, probably. Fourth base here. And Serral, he's still pretty afraid here. He stopped droning at 66 and has resumed roach production, and that's really not what you want against carriers here. We see he does want to transition at some point here. We see the infestation pit. And now that there are more Void Rays again, maybe that is a giveaway for Serral. How many queens does he have? Does he want to queen walk this? No, he only has 4 queens on the map here. So that is not an option either. He sees the carriers now. And this Roach is all like, oh, damn, we kind of have to make something happen here. And he just goes for the throat here, trying to brute force his way into the natural. Force field coming in clutch, and just makes this Roach force retreat. And this is looking rough for Serral. He doesn't have the answers to the Ur army yet. He doesn't have the queen count, and he's building infestors now, but in the first map I mentioned how great infestors are in combination with queens against the army. Right now he doesn't have the queen count. Static defense is coming in here. And Zest with this 3 carrier timing, trying to make it work. These are all the queens that Serral has here. The Finnish player in some trouble. And yeah, he just GG's out of this. Zest takes the series 2-1. Impressive play overall in this series. Really, really well done.